Hello everyone, how's it going? And welcome to a little bit earlier edition of the Coding Zeal stream. And I hope if you're watching this, you're doing well and you've had a somewhat relaxing week, given that this is presidential election week. And so many things are still up in the air. So hopefully you're doing well. Give me a second here. I'm fiddling around with something. uh, so it's going to look weird for a second as I play with this. There we go. That's much better. I'm playing around with a setting. And use Virtual Cup. All right, so we're going to continue our adventure in coding, creating a Streamlabs clone in Phoenix/Elixir. That's what the ongoing project's going to be. And where we left off last time is we were implementing the login system for it. First time ever doing anything like that. So that is we were going through a step-by-step process because we were reading the guide, going through, making sure we're doing things right. At least, following it slowly so we do things right. So let me pull up the information to try to see where we go from here. So I was really trying to open up stuff. Phoenix. Chatbox. And no, I don't want to start a live session. There we go. Let's bring that up. And let's move this over here just a little bit. And do we have any push code? So I'm going to be experimenting today with trying to do my development in code spaces today instead of doing the development on my computer. Let's have some fun with that. Let's see if how that development process goes. So yeah, let's go ahead and delete that and open up this project in code spaces. And I'm curious to see if the computer's performance is going to be saved a little bit because we're going to be doing development on a machine that's somewhere in the cloud, somewhere in the world, and not actually executing the code locally. So we're going to be trying doing that and setting things up and having some fun. So we were following the guide on Guardian. And I believe we got up to right around here where we were trying to fix, we had implemented user authentication with the password hashing and stuff like that. So the auto-generated tests that Guardian had, or that had been generated by Guardian, were starting to break. And at the very end of the stream, working on getting that to run and function properly. Okay, so it looks like this is up and running. Let's go ahead and instead of running it on the browser, let's open up VS Code and get things going. And get VS Code to connect to our running container. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. And looks like we need to do some login stuff. So let me go ahead and Click the wrong thing. Nope, not that. This. Let me go ahead and try logging in so I can use code spaces. Yes, open. And that should, maybe that should have us going. No, maybe. Unhide that. Code spaces, here we go. There we go. We're signed in with code spaces. We have the Phoenix Twitch box running. Let's connect to it now. So now we should be connecting to the remote host to get everything up and running. And then from there, it should be a seamless experience in terms of developing. Let's see. Okay, we're just waiting for the remote server to start. Okay, so I think off stream I had gotten these tests to pass. That's great. Setup, some user setup, but there was unrelated. Don't have a user model. Okay. So next is the pipeline step. Beautiful. So I think we are up and running. And code spaces looks like it's just initializing my various extensions that are attached to setting sync for the project. And I should be able to start everything up by mix start. Ooh, mix not found. Uh-oh. Oh no, what's going on here? Why do I not have any Elixir on this machine? On this box. Oh no. Looks like my code spaces configuration might not be good anymore because it's supposed to go and install Elixir dependencies and such when I go and grab all these things. Okay, well, we'll scratch that idea. Let's close this remote connection and we'll just stick with doing development locally for now. Okay, let's start up our application. Oh, we need to get our Docker Compose up and running because our Postgres database is connected via Docker. Is run through Docker. Okay, there we go. So now no more database errors, and we should be able to connect to our running Elixir application. Beautiful. And the next step is to run tests to make sure that our previous tests are correct that we were trying to fix last time. Okay, so we have passing tests. All right, so what's next? So we're using the package Guardian to set up our login system. So far, we set up a context for a user in the database. We set up set up a workflow, updated the module for creating, updating, and deleting users, and also added in for encoding and decoding the password, and added in the ability to authenticate the user. So that's where we left off from there. So let's keep on going with the guide about setting things up. So HTTP Guardian makes use of plug architecture uses it to construct pipelines. The pipelines provide downstream plugs with the implementation module and error handler that Guardian plug requires to do their job. Please read the plugin guide for more information. We want our pipeline to look after a session and header authentication, where to look for the token, load the user, but not enforce it. By not enforcing it, we can have a logged in or maybe logged in. We can use the Guardian plug ensure authenticated plug for those cases where we must have logged in user by using the Phoenix pipeline in the router. Okay. So in our user manager, and so where are we looking again? And so under user manager, pipeline EX. So let's create our pipeline EX folder or file, not folder. Pipeline EX. Paste that in there. So our module is not auth.me, it is Phoenix Streamlabs clone, and then Phoenix Streamlabs clone. Any reference to auth.me needs to be replaced by the Phoenix Streamlabs clone. That's the name of our project. Okay, so let's see here. So OTP, so use. If there is a session token, restrict it to an access token, validate it. If there's an authorization token, restrict it to access the token, validate it. If the user, load the user if either of the verifications worked. Okay. We also need the error handler referenced in our pipeline to handle the case where there was a failure to authenticate. Okay. Error handler.ex. Handler.ex. Do like that. And let's go ahead and just grab Streamlabs clone here. So, okay. That's the only reference to the old. So import plug connection behavior Guardian plug error handler. We're implementing the error handler auth error, and then we're handling the error and responding back with a 401 if authorization failed, including in any sort of errors that come with it. Okay. This pipeline is now ready to use. Now we need some way to log in / log out the user and some resources and some resource to protect. For this, we create a sessions controller and use the page controller for our protected resource. So we create a sessions controller that manages the session. Let's copy this in. So under web controllers, we're going to have a session controller. Controller.ex. And then inside here, we do this. And all references to auth.me should be Phoenix Streamlabs clone any other reference to auth me in here? I don't see any. Now what's going on here? Why is this a clone web? What's going on here? Interesting. So Dialyzer is complaining that it doesn't find anything. Interesting. But let's take a look at what the code actually is doing. So we're aliasing the user manager, the user, and guardian so we can reference them by name for when there is a new session coming in. So that means, I guess, is that, okay. So rendering the new session so someone can log in. So checking for, so initializing a user change set object, checking current resource. So current resource maybe user. So if the user is, so if the person's potentially logged in, we redirect them to the protected page. Else we take them to the login page, it looks like. Let's see. So we have login here, and login comes in here. We take in the user, we take in an object with, trying to remember the nomenclature here, a map or whatever. But anyway, the data coming in here, the user object, and then we try to authenticate with that information coming in from a form submission, and then authenticate the user, and then reply with the login. Excuse me. Logging out, just triggering the logout command in Guardian, and then redirecting to the login page. This module's full name is auth user manager login plugin, and the arguments specified the argument sign out docs are not applicable here. Okay. So login reply is our way to reply that we've logged them in, signed them in, protected. Logout reply. Okay, so these are just methods to put out the flash message. All right. So now we're going to try to generate. So now we need to create the views for the various things for the session. So views, we need to create a session view. So let me just copy that. Session view.ex, and we'll take this there, and then take this, replace auth web with that, and then we actually need the markup for it. That would be located in the templates. So under templates, let me make this smaller because we don't need this that big right now. So under templates, we're creating a new folder called, or for session. And then in that, we put our various views. So new HTML, the Elixir. So the login page with generating a form, taking in the change set for that tuple, and the action we're trying to perform, and then we are creating the form fields for this to take in user and password, and then submission. Okay. Let's make the resource implementation. So now we actually have to. So now we're going to create a page that's going to be protected. So this is just, I guess, we're just creating we're just going to create a page controller. So in order to render a page, we need a page controller. So let's go to controllers and generate a page underscore controller ex. And let's go ahead and take that and replace that with web. This needs to be replaced with web 2 because we're putting in the wrong module. So let's close this. Let's close this. So our page controller, and that is going to render. That is gonna have a handler for our protected page, and we are going to pull up the current resource from the connection. So that's going to pull out find the user that's associated with the token, I imagine. And then we're telling it to render the protected.html, and that is going to look inside of templates. I need to put new session to the top level of templates, not inside layout. And so I'm going to have to probably create a page folder within our templates, and within there create a protected. We're telling it to look for protected template, and let's go ahead and do that. So now we have protected page. Only can see this page if you are logged in, and then it says who the person that is logged in is. So this all looks very familiar if you've ever written any Ruby on Rails code. Okay. So use the plug current resource function here to fetch the user. You must load this first using the plug load resource plug, which is included in the our auth pipeline earlier. Yes. Good. So reading the code, I was able to derive that. So that's great. All right. So now we just have to do our routes. So now we have to set up our routes to handle all this authentication and page controller stuff. So let's see here. So the first step, our pipeline implements. So control of user start product guardian, but we need some way to interact with it from here. Only thing left to do is for us to wire up our router. Yeah. Pipeline implements the maybe authenticated. We'll use the ensure auth below if we need to make sure someone is logged in. Okay. So let's take these two right here. And I'd imagine the first thing we want to do through the router, through the pipeline, before we touch on any other routes, is check for authentication. So pipeline auth, plug that, pipeline ensure. So we're defining our pipelines for how we're going to handle the routes. I think this is really cool about Elixir. You see exactly the steps that the flow of logic that's going to happen during a request when it hits a certain URL. So you can add or remove plugs that it hits as it goes through. So if we add in a pipeline, it'll hit these plugs. So if we specify the auth pipeline, it'll hit that. If we want ensure, we'll ensure that's authenticated. So maybe logged in user. So let's see here. Oh yeah, we need to also update these references to auth web for our Streamlabs, for our actual module name. So our scopes look exactly the same here, but right now we just have this live page. So pipe through auth. So browser. So we're going to extend this browser pipeline. So we're going to tell it also that, yeah, I want these requests to go through the maybe logged in. So I want this to go through auth, just the additional auth pipeline. All these routes in here. Let's see. We don't have this page controller because we have a live view instead. So page login, post for logging in, the form, submitting, and logging out, and definitely logged in scope. And then this is how we hard enforce that a user has to be logged in to hit these. So, and in here, we see the browser, we see the auth, and then, so, okay, interesting. Okay, so we have to include the auth to authenticate them, to check if they're authenticated. And then afterwards, we have to include the pipeline to ensure the auth, so it won't let them hit this. Interesting. And I had to update the module here to be that. There's a little bit. So let's read how they describe what's going on here. So there's a little bit happening here. We created a Phoenix pipeline that delegates to our Guardian pipeline to log in someone if we find a token in the session or header. This does not restrict access. We restrict access by using both auth and ensure auth Phoenix pipelines and use that to protect our protected route. Note that you must use auth pipeline before ensure auth 1 to make sure that we have fetched and verified the token. We're also loading the user, but that is not required to ensure auth. Okay, so the way I was reading the code, the assumptions I had is are validated. So that is awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure that we have migrated all our changes, because we have, so we ran that yesterday. And then let's see. So since we didn't implement a form for creating a user, we need to do that from the command line. So let me go ahead and try to see if we can hit the protected route first of all. I forget if I need to restart the server or if Elixir will refresh from that. No route found / protected. Let me try restarting the Phoenix server to see if it'll pick up those new changes. All right. Ooh. Okay, so we do have an error in our Streamlabs code, user manager pipeline, and init undefined. I wonder if I accidentally still have some auth me references. Nope. This is squiggly lined, is undefined. Am I forgetting to do some sort of include? Yeah, because this is very angry at me right now. Undefined function error. Function user management pipeline init is undefined. Interesting. Let's see. User manager. So here's the pipeline code. So something is wrong here. What I'm going to do for now, just to clean up the logs also, is let me kill the server. And in the application EX, I am going to not start up the chatbot server or the chatbot listener service, just so I can more cleanly see any errors that are coming through. I hope. So we see that error again about the pipeline. So let's double check that I copied over everything properly. So auth.me user manager pipeline, Phoenix clone user manager pipeline, and the Guardian pipeline, OTP app auth.me. Let's check any references to OTP app. Oh, there we go. This should not be that. That it should be this. OTP app is Phoenix Streamlabs clone. Yes. There we go. Let me close everything up and restart the server. And it looks like we're still getting the exact same error. Terminated. Function Streamlabs user pipeline edit one. And that's still happening in the router. So there still might be an issue with the pipeline. Phoenix Streamlabs. I must have configured something wrong somewhere. Do I have anything that's Streamlab? Nope. Do I have auth.me anywhere? Nope. Do I have the old name for this project? I don't see it. Now what's going on? Let's see, so undefined. Router auth. So let's try to look this up. So Guardian. I feel like this is a fairly unique potential issue. The session controller is also having issues too. Relates its warning. Let's make sure that deps.get Make sure we're installing all our dependencies. Yes, we have that. Gonna run my tests again. Okay, so this is coming up in the tests also. Great. At least we have a route. So a variable config is unused. The variable is not being used. A prefix. Application ex. Let's oh, because this is not being used. Fine. We'll just comment that out. We'll just comment that out. I think I aliased one more command to do a bunch of things. Let me run the linter to see if it finds anything. Software design. Let's see here. So there's a code readability issues with the module doc. Those are fine. Alias module clone is not being ordered on the session. Interesting. Oh, okay. That's cool. But no, it's not teasing out any sort of software design issues that would cause this issue. Okay, so the execution route is the router. It goes into the compile and then enum, anonymous, builder, and then pipeline and init. And then it says undefined. So function Streamlabs init is undefined. A clone user manager pipeline is not available. Let me go to the Guardian. Let's see if we can pull anything up from the Guardian GitHub page. No. Our pipeline, create a custom pipeline. Let's see what our pipeline looks like here versus theirs. User manager pipeline. So we're specifying error handler. We're specifying the module. Most of the integration, be sure to include Guardian Phoenix in your library. Is that what we have? Guardian Phoenix. Guardian and Phoenix are perfect together, but get most out of the integration. Be sure to include this. See getting Guardian Phoenix documentation for more information. Ah, boy. I like how it gives that call out, but it doesn't actually say much anything else. So let me go back to that. It's down here somewhere. There it is. It's just a footnote. It's actively maintained. Okay. What's the issue? The pipeline. We're setting up the pipeline, and I'm getting a module. It can't find a certain module or this pipeline unavailable. Undefined module, Phoenix, Streamlabs, user manager, pipeline, function, Phoenix, Streamlabs, clone web, user manager pipeline. Oh, is that what's going on? I see it now. I see it now. Thanks for asking the question, because asking the question forces you to re-look at your code. So I think the pipeline is not located in the web. It's located in the regular module, the application module. There we go. That should do it. Let's see. Run a test. And it's working. All right. So I should be able to. So let's start up the server. Glad he could help. Yes, he helped immensely. It's amazing. All right, so let's try to go to protected and see if it is actually protected. Unauthenticated. We are protected. We are 100% protected from that route, because in the router file, we say that it ensure auth for that page. And then in our, what do you call it? Sessions controller, if the user is, it's not in the sessions controller. It is in the user controller. Actually, that just might be a macro that's just doing its thing. User manager, let's see. Yeah, no. Okay. Sessions, here we go. Well, we're already looking at sessions. Okay. So let's continue on our adventure of reading the guide. Okay, so I think we're getting to the point where we're going to create a user. So we don't have a form to create a user, sign up a user. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to go into the terminal and create a user in the database so we can log in as said user. So it will be not auth me. If we can get all over there. It's going to be Phoenix Streamlabs clone. The user is me. I don't want the user to be me. I want the user to be Goose. And the password is going to be the very sophisticated password. Because you just can't forget that password. The most secure password is the password you can always remember. One thing that's interesting is that the fact that it's not redirecting me to, I would like it to try to redirect me to a login page if I'm not authenticated. But let's just try playing around with this first. Enter protected in the browser address part, and you should see authenticated. Now enter /login. Okay. Yeah. So that's intended behavior right now. So we go to login. And we're going to use, so Goose is the name, and then password. And then we get to here, render is undefined module. Page view is not available. Ooh. So this is all jumbled up. because why is render not a module? Let's see. So page view render is undefined. Page view is unavailable. Oh, let's check our router because page controller, that's fine. So we're telling /protected goes to page controller protected and it hits the protected. We go over here and we go to protected. So we should hit protected and then it goes and does so now we're in protect here. Oh, but it's hitting page view. Wait a minute. I think page view is our live view, isn't it? No, that's live view. Let's see. Let's follow this cowboy. So it goes into here, router. We hit the page controller. There it is. I love you can see the stack trace. So there, and then we try to go to. That's interesting. Why didn't it go inside of protected? Protected. So let me close these other ones. And again, this is my probably novice knowledge of Elixir. But it looks like we're doing a get to protected /protected. We're doing it to the page controller and we're saying hit the protected method. So we should hit this. And it looks the same as this guy over here. So we care about the connection. We don't care about anything else coming in. And then we try to authenticate. Or we authenticate and then we try to go to render that page. Let's double check the template. So page is the template. Protected is the HTML markup. And why is maybe I am missing a module because we never generated any home controller context thing. So let's do that. Do we have a view for protected? We do have a view for protected, but maybe we're missing the base page view module because we didn't generate any. We only have a live view, and then we never generated anything for the regular markup. So is there like I'm wondering if there's like a base module that's missing. So let's go to the Phoenix documentation and look at the commands because I don't know the commands off the top of my head yet, but there are the mix tasks to generate various views and such. So it generates the controller, views, and context for HTML. So let's try doing this. Let's try doing the mix HTML. It should have a use protected. If you have a protected view EX, it should have a use statement in it. So here's the protected, the page controller that contains the protected in here. Let's see. So let's put these side by side. Yeah, I'm going to try generating a view real quick just to see. a protected view.ex. Ooh. Here, let's try this. I'm going to generate, because since I am still new to Elixir, I don't know what the scaffold of everything looks like. So let's try to find the command for generating the page. What was the first thing? Nice. So this will generate. Phoenix offers the ability to generate all the code to stand up a complete HTML resource, including migrations and stuff like that. Ooh, I don't want to do a complete resource though. Channels are clean. I don't want to do the whole resource. Under /views. So we need a protected view. Does it have to be called protected underscore view? Because I just have it protected. Protected.html. Let's see. So I think that's what they said to do in the instructions, which is why I didn't. Protected. Session. Oh, session under. Okay, session view. Ah, yeah, you're right. I need a protected view. You are 100% correct. Under views. Yes, yes, yes. Now I get it. Okay. Takes time to sink in, but I got it. And then I have to include this in here. Okay. Okay. Like, so. Okay. I'm still stuck on Rails conventions because the render's in the view module. Yeah. I forget that you can do inline rendering or you can do HTML markup rendering. So this allows you to do it in inline, or it would just delegate automatically to so that should work now. Yeah, I'm still stuck on Rails conventions. So this is good. Okay, we have to restart the server. Yeah, the controller's not going to be smart enough to go find the template. Let's see here. So, we need to update this. I still call this, this needs to be page view. There we go. Protected page. You can only see this page if you're logged in. You're logged in as Goose. We did it. We did it, folks. We did it. Let's see. Winning. I'm trying to get my Stream Deck here to see if it's set up properly, because I tried to set my Stream Deck up right before the stream. Let's see here. I need me a victory. Let's see if I can get that victory sound coming in. This one. This one. This one. Click on this. And then. Okay. I heard that. You can hear that. So we'll work on that later. We'll do that another time. Okay, so yeah. So let's call that a commit, because that is a commit of commits. So complete guardian setup and do and add protected. page. Excellent. Let's go ahead and throw that up there into the interwebs so we don't forget. All right, so what is next on the docket? So try it out, do that, browser address, and you see unauthenticated again. So if we do a logout, so if we decide to do logout, logs out, boom, and then we go to protected. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want to try to figure out is what happens for if I want to try to tweak this and update this so that if they are not logged in. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, I forgot about that. If they're not logged in, I want it to route elsewhere. Before we do that, let's try adding in the Guardian Phoenix library, because apparently this is supposed to provide better integration with Guardian. So before we forget, let's do that next into our mix file. Excellent. Mix, deps, get. Let's make sure to run, let's just run mix test again. It's so amazing how quickly these libraries install for Elixir. I'm impressed. Feels good. Feels good coming from JavaScript and having to deal with Node installations. Let's go ahead and start up the server again. And I should hope that we don't see anything weird happening. Excellent, excellent. So far, so good. So the next thing I wanted to do was try to see if we can customize it such that if you are not authenticated, that instead of saying unprotected, it says it redirects you. So is that possible? Is that possible? So the ensure authenticated Guardian plug, ensure authenticated. And let's see here. We'll default to JWT. Authentic consists of challenge phase, who prove who you are, and then followed by a verification phase. After which Guardian will do the rest. In this tutorial, we'll cover command in and argin for the challenge phase. So the other thing we're gonna do is for the challenge phase, we're gonna want to challenge with Twitch. So we're gonna want them to log in with Twitch instead. But before that, I definitely want to try to see, because I don't think we're going to get around to doing that part, but I would love to see if we can try to customize the ensure login phase for things. So it looks like they're pointing to the Guardian, to the repository for stuff you want to read plug Phoenix. So we had to go to the repo to get the latest and greatest stuff. Information. Here's the basic setup. Resource for claims. So let me double check under manager, change user, update user, authenticate user. So it responds back with an error with invalid credentials. Here we go. So I think this is where I'm gonna want to do things. So under the sessions controller, so verify, so authenticate user. Wait, but this is not the router stuff, so I shouldn't be trying to route them anywhere. Where is authenticate user called in my code base? Manager EX, no. Session controller, here. Login reply. Here we go. So the login reply, for the error condition, new. So I want to redirect them to login. That's the thing I want to do. So no empty object. So put a flash message, redirect them to login. That's what I want to do. So let's find out. So if I go to /protected, it says unauthenticated. Oh, but this is for, okay. This is only for when the login phase, this is the session controller stuff. I need to find ensure login phase stuff. So let me undo this because this is fine. This is not fine. Ensure auth, so ensure authenticated. Let's see if we can easily find the information. It's callbacks to allow the hook to different parts of the authentication cycle. These callbacks can be used for any purpose and are used by the GuardianDB. Common callbacks are build claims, verify claims. Using build claims, callback, you can modify the structure of the claims and any other you need. You can add, change, remove, key pairs added, all available callbacks here. Okay. Let's open that in a tab. I think that we hit the end of the road for what this what the documentation here can offer, or the guides, that is. Before sign out, after sign in, build claim. So let me just go directly to the site. And let's start from the top. So the basics are this: sign in, verify, revoke, refresh, exchange with the plug, sign in, sign out, remember me, current token, creating custom claims and options. Okay, decoding tokens, configurations, JWT. So here's some callback hooks. And then plugs. So here's the plugs for ensuring authenticated. Make sure the token was found and is valid. So we definitely want to find this pipeline and see if it can be modified. The error handler is a module that implements auth error. So let me try checking the error the error handler then. Error handler. Oh, here we go. What if we redirect here? So pipe such that we redirect and with a message. And then we'll put a flash message in there, error, to string. Oh, please. Actually, no. Let's not even do anything. Or last message error. Like that, maybe. Undefined method reason is the body. Oh, but we're not a connection. No, this is fine. I think it's fine. Undefined function put flash. That is because put flash is probably under controller. No. Undefined method redirect. Yeah. Okay. How to add a token to a request, Guardian Phoenix integration. I wish this actually had documentation, this Guardian Phoenix integration thing, but all it says is this. And then when you point to the documentation, let's actually see. So that's installation, API references, modules. Provides an interface for authenticating with sockets. Okay, that provides no information whatsoever. Thank you. All right. Okay, so all right, so there's nothing. I'm not familiar with Guardian yet, so I can't do what I was thinking about doing yet. We'll figure it out. Let's try looking up the guides in here. Guides Phoenix start Phoenix. Okay, so the Phoenix guide is no good. Guides, assets, permission, introduction to community, implementation, installation overview, permissions, start Phoenix, pipelines, tokens, tutorial, start tutorial, upgrading. So I think we already took the tutorial, start plug, pipelines. Let me take a look at this real quick. And then the rest of the stuff's already what we've already seen. Okay, so we've reached the end of the road of what Guardian can offer us. Now we need to actually go into UberAuth to use a Guardian for the challenge phase. So UberAuth is a two-phase framework that provides a clear API outlining the strategies to be created and shared with the community. Help me inspire OmniAuth. So it provides the initial authentication challenge phase. Yes, that's what I want. So I do have this guide here. So let me make sure that we have UberAuth installed. So we're not going to get 100% to this because this is going to be fairly involved, I imagine. So we do have UberAuth installed. Great. Let's say if we have an UberAuth Twitch strategy, UberAuth Twitch. Elixir. authenticating Elixir application with UberAuth. Let's take a look at that. That might be a more concise one that we can take a look at. Twitter authentication with Elixir and Phoenix. Automated stream assistant learning. Okay, this is the guide we were already going through. We're already planning on going through. Okay. Let's do this then. So we're going to be skimming this guide in terms of trying to figure out what we need to do, how to integrate UberAuth with Phoenix or with the Guardian. This is an example application. Let me just look at the documentation real quick just to see if what I need to do here. So if you're in your configuration file EXS, provide a list of providers that you intend to use. So I need to create a custom, but this will define 2 providers. The general structure of the provider is this. We use the configuration option. So we're going to have to create a custom provider, I believe, because there is no UberAuth for Twitch under the strategies, which is why I say it's going to take a while, because we're going to have to learn how to create a strategy for Twitch. Because they have a bunch of other ones. They have Twitter, they have Streamlabs itself, but they do not have Twitch. Maybe we can look at like the Streamlabs one and for inspiration later. So let's get the Phoenix plug. Is this module and controller, auth controller? Okay, so let's see what we need to do to get things started. So we need UberAuth, and we need a strategy that we're going to point to. Strategy options. We can use author chat. And then once you have the set of providers and your router, you need to configure the plug to run. The plug should run your application route. So plug UberAuth. So we're going to put this in here at the top. Looks like. Oh, this is in controller, not in the mix EXS. Wait. Plug this in your controller. This is URL matching is done via pattern. So I'd probably stick this into a sessions controller is my thought. And let's keep on reading this. Before I type any code, let's research and figure things out. Customizing the path. Ooh. With these paths configured. Oh. On the provider. Identity, UberAuth strategies, request, and callback. Ooh, okay. So it looks like we can create customized paths. So this is what we're going to want to do for Twitch. So I am going to let's start taking some notes, some very detailed notes on this. So UberAuth, Elixir, so UberAuth for Twitch. So creating custom, how do they put this? Customizing the path. So need to customize the auth pass. Put that. Oop. Let's go ahead and take the code there. Boom. So I believe it's going to be, let's just be verbose, and it's going to be auth. Let's double check this. So Twitch, so dev Twitch TV. The standard OAuth API, I believe, is that it has to be /auth, but let's double check. OAuth 2.0 protocol. Whoops, not that. See, they're following the standard protocol, and it is OAuth 2 registration. What are the other? Revoking a token. Getting tokens. Oh, let's see. Yeah, so it's always just OAuth 2. Interesting. Interesting. So OAuth 2. Strategies request path. So our request path is always OAuth 2 authorize. I believe OAuth 2 authorize. So it's always this. And then our callback, we'll keep with the syntax here with authorize identity callback. Okay, let's go to the wiki because this is pretty bare bones. Let's see what the wiki says, the list of strategies. Okay, so let's take a look at the strategy for Streamlabs to make sure we set everything up properly. Lib. Oh boy. So I might just create a module called UberAuth, I think. Let's see here. Close this up and let's see. UberAuth strategy, UID field ID, default scope, donation read. Alias auth info. I wish there was documentation on creating customized UberAuth stuff instead of me trying to read the code. Travis Lang, license, make file, readme, coveralls. See UberAuth strategy for information on constructing UberAuth auth struct. Let's take a look at this UberAuth example again. This project demonstrates how to use UberAuth multiple strategies to provide authentication for Phoenix applications. The project has been set up to run Heroku and found an UberAuth example. Is this going to use the UberAuth freaking dependencies? Yeah, it is. Beautiful. That doesn't help. Okay. Okay, so it looks like in order to get this going, we're definitely just going to have to like copy pasta stuff so that we can get everything going, working fine. Let's look at some of the other UberAuth strategies we could use that is very similar to OAuth. As an OAuth, sorry, GitLab as an OAuth provider. This might be good, using GitLab as an OAuth 2 provider. Let's take a look at this. So with the GitLab one, we add the strategy, we add it to application, add GitLab to your UberAuth configuration, strategy identity, your ID field, GitLab, auth, GitLab. So doing configuring some things, configuring the scopes, setting up the credentials, and then adding it as a plug to your pipeline for your controller. And then create a request callback. Implementing the routes. Okay. So this might be the route we want to take. Let me take a look at the config file. And we're going to have to call it at this point also. This brings us to end of this part of the code. Unfortunately, we have to do we have to implement our own UberAuth to log in with Twitch. Unless there is some sort of Elixir package, Phoenix, Twitch, OAuth, login. Nothing off the top of my head or nothing off the initial search I can see. But I'm going to do the research off stream. Maybe try to generate a project to do this that we can use locally and to unblock us for the next phase, because we got a lot of stuff up ahead of us. So this is not the end, that's for sure. But anyway, thanks for lurking and hanging out, and I greatly appreciate that. So we'll be back at a more normally scheduled time, starting at 1 p.m. next week. So I hope to catch you then. So until next time, have a good one. Bye.